So get it yo, let's go get it Karcherman. 아 여러분 지금 우리는 지금 뭔지 알죠? 여기 지금 추운 지금 가을이 아니고 겨울로 넘어가는 날씨에 밤에 Level Up Body Kit Design Factory에 왔습니다. 여기 오늘 온 이유는 뭘까? 오늘은 여러분들이 되게 궁금해했던, 그리고 제가 항상 Fast and Furious 분노의 질주를 많이 했죠. 그 자동차를 튜닝한 건 내 스타일이 아닌데 이런데 어쩌고 저쩌고 했는데 거기에 나오는 한 분이 있습니다.
미안해.
잘 가지마. 그렇죠. 거짓말 뮤직비디오에 데뷔했었던 그분. 무비 캐릭터 이름은 한. Songgang, let's get it!
Let's get it.
What's up, brother?
What's up?
아, 이거는 사실 여러분들도 알다시피 지금 가식적인 이 악수인 게 벌써 우리 촬영에서 하루 종일. So this is a fake hug. Anyways, glad to see you, man.
Glad to see you.
And look at this. What do we have here? Explain to us. What is this? What is this car, man?
Well, this is the legendary RX-7 FD Veilside that Han drove in Tokyo Drift.
And you died in this car.
Not really. I mean, it was a misleading death.
Misleading death. I was pretty sad. When I saw that, I got pissed off at the Fast and Furious guys. I said, dude, what the heck? Han's my dude, and now they sliced him off, but you came back.
Came back because of the fans. you know?
Yeah. Of course, because the original character, he's like 분노의 질주에서 진짜로 한국 분들의 슈퍼히어로라고 하죠. And this was the car. 이 자동차. Explain to us, what car is this?
I think this is a 93 Mazda RX-7 touring package, because if it has a sunroof, it usually is a touring package version. And Veilside from Japan, Yokomaku-san, created this body kit, and this is the car that we used in Fast and Furious. But of course it didn't look like this one. This is like a great representation of a replica FD, or Han's FD. I mean, it's, to me, I'm so shocked that a car with this level of craftsmanship is in Korea, of all places, in like the Shigor of Korea, right? It's pretty moving, and I'm very proud that something like this can exist here. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
아까 얼핏 이야기를 나누는데 이 자동차를 보고 그 영화에서 나왔었던 그 히어로 자동차보다도 더 꼼꼼하게 잘 만들었다고 해갖고 진짜 충격받았다고 말하는데 아 진짜 자랑스럽어요. Really proud, right?
Yes.
So, hey man, you know, let's have a seat here real quick. 24년의 인연입니다. I've known you for 24 years.
24 years.
24 years 하지만 되게 바빠지고 빅 스타 됐기 때문에 그 사이에 많이 못 봤는데 오늘 오랜만에 이렇게 보게 되는데 너무나도 자랑스럽게 우리나라 분이 Fast and Furious. 진짜로 all over the world, it's one of the biggest franchise movies. 하지만 거기에 메인 캐릭터 중에서 한 명이 성강 왔는데 You know, I never knew that you were interested in cars. I mean, when did that start? When did you start liking cars?
I've always been into old, like, restorations. You know, when I was a kid growing up in Georgia, I would walk around my neighborhood. I met an old Korean war vet who had his garage door open, and he was restoring this old car.
And you were how old?
I was about 10.
Okay, you're a little kiddo.
You know, and I would walk back and forth, kind of peek in, and then one day he invited me in, and he just let me sit there and ask him really stupid questions. Why are you doing this? Why are you trying to like restore this old piece of junk car? And he, explained to me, he's a caretaker of American car history, and there's a right way to do it. And you take your time and you enjoy the process. Have a connection with the car. And I would open catalogs, because this is like, pre-internet.
Sure.
And you could just see him at peace when he's in this garage working and resurrecting this car. So, he definitely planted the seed for this connection and love affair for old cars and the restoration process. Sure. So when I'm in a garage like this, I see cars like taken apart, and you smell the old gasoline and oil and old car smell. It does give me this sense of like, peace.
And it takes you back. Now, what was your first car that you ever drove? Not you ever drove, but what was your first personal car?
First personal car was a hand-me-down car from my parents. They had a '84 Dodge Monaco. It's an ugly, big old fat like whale of a car. It was like light blue, and the paint was faded.
Not very many people even know that car,
Yeah, I mean, because that car does not need to exist. There's nothing sexy about that car. And that was given to me once I got my, license at 16. Because it's like, every kid's dream to like get his license and get their first car.
It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's got four wheels and an engine, you could drive it, right?
I actually never even drove it.
What?
Yeah, because it was given to me. I got the keys, and then I told my dad, I was like, I'm gonna go for a drive with my friends, right? And he's like, no, you're not. And I'm like, what do you mean? Well, it's my car. And he goes, "Wait, okay, but do you have insurance?" And I was like, what's that? He's like, yeah, you know, if you're gonna drive a car, you need insurance. How much does that cost? Right? Like, it was like $80 a year, I think, what he was saying. He's like, I don't have that kind of money. He goes, well, you need to go get a job, and you need to save this money. And at that time, I thought, like, you know, that's kind of messed up, but it is a privilege to drive a car. I mean, when something's given to you, you take it for granted. And I think it was a lesson he was teaching me, is that to drive a car, it's a privilege for a person.
It's a privilege because you're giving this big hunk of metal with no tracks, just a free road for you to drive, giving you the right to the safety of this vehicle. So it is a privilege, and you're right. Now, then it comes to the question, what about your first tuning car?
It was really late in my life because went on this journey to be an actor. I think people think, like, you know, as soon as you start out, like, you're making a whole bunch of movie star money. But I mean, I was struggling. There were times I didn't even have a car. You know, I took the bus to go to theater and go to acting classes, and you know, you work 10 jobs. So, like, to be able to have something like this, to be able to modify something like this, is like, that was really not part of my life.
Yeah, it wasn't even in the picture.
Yeah, but I think we're going on close to 10 years ago now. My friends and I wanted to have a reason to get together on weekends. We don't play golf. Everybody has families and kids, and you know, to be able to hang out with your bros like for 6 hours, it's very hard today.
Yeah.
Right? And as you get older. So we wanted an excuse, so we wanted to like do a car build together. Originally we thought, like, you know, maybe we'll do like an old Porsche 911, but you know, they were getting very expensive, and so for like a weekend hobby car, it didn't make sense. So we saw a 240Z like whiz by when we were having lunch, and one of my friends were saying, hey, what do you think about that car? And I had no connection to a Datsun 240Z. I don't know anything about this car. I went home, looked it up, and you could get them for like $500 to like a perfectly pristine one for about $3 to $5 grand.
Yeah.
And I still was like, well, why this car? And then the more I researched it, I learned about Mr. Katayama, the man behind the 240Z, and his mission to bring in Japanese sports cars into America post-war, right? So this is in the 70s, where still the Japanese sentiment from most Americans was still very, there's a lot of like, you know, racist kind of things, you know, there was discrimination. And the idea of bringing in a Japanese sports car to compete with the American muscle cars, the Italian sports cars, the German sports cars, that was considered crazy from Japan. He said, I'm gonna do it. He created this 240Z, a really well-made sports car, to compete, to share Japanese ingenuity and his love affair for motor racing with the American people. But the most important is like this humility, the mastering of your ego, putting that to the side, going, let me share my passion with you guys. And whatever you say and whatever you think, I don't care. This is more important. I use that in my career to go, doesn't matter like how tough the obstacles are or what people say about me. I love what I do, and I'm gonna focus on that, and I'm gonna make the product as good as I can, you know, my work as an actor. And hopefully, you know, I can also like make an impact like the 240Z, right?
Sure.
You know? So.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Always there's gotta be like a history or a story behind something in order to be interested in it, not just the object itself, because the object itself is just an object, but usually when the history pushes it, you're like, okay, that's why. So after that, from my understanding, you have a few toys. After being such a successful artist, now you have how many toys in your collection?
I think I have about 14 now.
14.
Yeah. But look, they're not expensive cars. Some of them are worthless. It's not like I go out and buy cars because of just what, you know, what they're worth or what people think. Like usually my cars are underdog cars. They're cars that most people have discarded and they go, you know, it has no value. But then I look at it and I go, hey, there's something really beautiful. There's a great story behind it. And I try to look at it as like a, you know, blank canvas. And also, you know, when it's an underdog car, most of the parts are still very affordable.
Sure.
You try to do something like this
This
today,
is too
like,
expensive.
it's too crazy.
Yeah, it's too
right?
crazy.
And it takes the fun away, you know, and I like to do something new. Like doing another one of these, I'm sure it's cool, but we don't need another Veilside FD. Right? So, like, I like cars like, you know, the Ford Maverick.
Yeah, the Maverick.
Oh, you ever see that?
Yeah, of course. Or like the Ford Maverick, or like the AMC Pacer. You know,
Javelin.
The Javelin. or the Duster. But basically, though, I mean, because you like the 240 so much, you have a few of them, right?
A few, yeah.
And they each have their own
Story,
character, right?
Yeah, yeah. I just recently finished a 71 240Z. It's a East African safari homage. So East African safari rally is like the Baja 1000. It's like a desert rally in South Africa. And this car was a winning car in like the late 70s, right? Dominated, and it was red and black. And I just loved what that car looked like, but I wanted to make a street version. And it's also in memory of my father-in-law, who recently passed away, because he loved cars, and he was living with us in LA, he was getting older, and he loved cars. And he never got to see this car finish or drive in it. But he left me this Japanese scroll. This is a scroll that his father got during the Korean War from a Japanese friend of his. They had a business together in Korea. He had to leave Korea, and he left my father-in-law's or my wife's family's, this Japanese scroll. It's hundreds of years old, and it has a koi fish on it. And this scroll always represented something that I felt was very beautiful. My father-in-law, who was like 92 when he passed, right? I asked him, I said, do you still hold on to animosity towards Japanese people? Because he spoke fluent Japanese.
Okay.
His answer, to me was really beautiful. He's like, look, what happened was atrocious and unfortunate and horrible. It's something that has affected the Korean people and still affects them. But I'm not going to generalize and say all Japanese people are like that. There are good people and bad people everywhere.
Sure.
It was a horrific past, but this scroll represented a friendship between a Japanese man and a Korean man.
Yeah.
And that's why they kept it in their family, to remind themselves is that even though there's this horrific past, there were still some beautiful people, right, on the other side. And so when he passed away, I had learned this art form about ghost painting. The lowrider guys in LA, they do this ghost painting where there's like images underneath, the paint, and they just keep layering it.
Keep layering it.
And it's like this really cool, craft that is slowly dying.
Yeah.
And so when I was about to paint the 240Z, I decided to take the scroll, scan it, and use the koi fish to wrap around the driver, which would be me, with this ghost paint technique. That car, to me, is like a piece of art. It's a piece of family history, and combined with my love affair with 240Zs, and the craftsmanship that went into it, and the people that got involved. And I named that car Doc C because the original owner was a doctor.
Oh, wow.
And he and his son wanted to do a rebuild together, but they could never finish it. And he got sick. And then my mentor, who's taught me pretty much everything about 240Z. His name is Eric Aguilar. And he's considered, in his community, the Hispanic community, the doctor of Zs. Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I mean, it's cool because you definitely have a story that's attached to all your cars. Now, this goes to, you have all those cars, but out of all your cars, would that be your favorite, you think?
No.
Which one's your favorite?
They're like kids. Like, how do you pick your favorite kid?
그렇네.
I like them all. They all have their own story. Look, some are more valuable than others, some are faster than others, but the only reason I have these cars in my life, and it's very hard for me to sell, is that they represent all these beautiful times in my life. I actually don't care about the car, June. It disappeared on me. I actually don't care. It's actually the memories that really matter for me. Like this car.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I appreciate it, but then, do I have FD in my collection? No, because when I see this, it moves me because it means so much to so many people around the world. The fact that this car is in Korea, it makes no sense to me. But I go, wow, what a great memory.
Yeah.
And now, when I look at this now, it'll be a memory of today, that I got to meet so many wonderful people, right?
That's how I judge my era of times that have passed by the cars that I had and the memories that I had in those cars. That's so cool. Now, you've been to Korea. You haven't been here in about 10 years. What do you think, seeing Korea?
Well, first of all, I have not been here 10 years. Whole country, at least Seoul, where I've been, I don't recognize anything. All right, and for the better.
Yeah.
Right? It's so postmodern, it's so advanced, it's so clean. The people make me so proud because it feels like there's no sense of we're trying to overcompensate or catch up, like we've caught up. And there's a sense of peace.
Yeah.
Person of Korean descent coming back to the homeland and seeing how developed and accepted Korean culture is as well throughout the world. Like all these visitors, I've never seen so many foreigners in Korea.
Yeah,
ever.
that's what I'm saying.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's not like they're coming here going, hey, these people are like so like different. They're coming to go, I just want to embrace
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and
They
absorb.
wanna be a part
everything.
of it. Yeah, yeah.
And it's like I go, how did this little country like influence the world so much today currently in terms of K-pop culture, the soft culture, the all the technology, the phones and the TVs and washing machines. It's like there's something Korean in everyone's house now. And then you go to the cars. When I did Tokyo Drift, there was a line where I tell the character, you think I'm gonna let you drive in a Hyundai?
What you think? I'm gonna let you roll in a Hyundai?
And I give him the keys to Mitsubishi. But today you can't say that.
No.
Right? Because these cars are as good, if not even better than some of the other manufacturers. It makes me so proud.
Yeah.
I've heard this notion that, there is no car culture in Korea. But this proves otherwise.
Yeah.
Right? The people I've met today prove otherwise. And Korea had to move fast. And I think that's why, even like I come here and I go, hey, this is why my personality is like coupe.
Yeah,
Like impatient, right?
지금 해야 돼,
Right,
지금.
yeah. And I see that actually, I thought it was a bad thing, but you can see that it's actually helped this country. It's like, let's get it done, but let's do it with quality, right?
Like when we were younger, like I said before, you go somewhere, they ask you, are you, what, Chinese, Japanese? Never said Korean. Now they're like, Korean. They're like, wow. It's a really nice feeling.
And to see you again.
Oh,
Jerome.
dude,
You
I'm-
understand, like, guys, this audience has to understand that you are one of the pioneers of where K-culture is today, where K-pop is today. I mean, you might dismiss it and you're very humble about it, but it makes me so like proud. And the fact that we met when we were
Yeah, they were starting.
right?
나는 30살이고 얘는 26살 때 만났으니까는 시간이 I'm very proud of you too, brother.
No, but you also have to understand is like you also helped me like define this word of hyung, like the older brother. And when I ask people about you and I say, hey, I'm gonna go meet June, I've known him these many years, what do you think about June? Like I ask my nephews and my cousins and my aunts and stuff, and they go, we love him. And I go, well, why do you love him? Because he's sincere. He does not try to be something he's not. And that, to me, is a lesson from a young. That is something that I will leave Korea and take from you, right? So, I'm like so happy, like literally the first person I, got to visit in Korea.
Dude, I'm stoked, man. Thank you very much for those kind words, bro. That's touching. Making me choke up.
They're not kind words, they're facts. And I mean, you are the great representation of what the young is.
그냥 되게 좋은 말을 많이 너무 착하게 해줘갖고 네, 지금 목이 좀 이렇게 됐는 목 잠겼는데 yeah. What do you think about the pride?
Your pride?
Yeah,
I love your pride.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a Jetta and a E30 had a baby, and then you pimped it out.
Yeah.
Right? It has some bags. It's like has the right exhaust. It's easy to drive, and I think the name is fitting because it's a 20-year-old car.
That's like 30 years old. Yeah, 30.
30.
Yeah.
And it's still going strong.
Pride.
Right? So yeah, it's like it gives me pride driving it.
Korean car. 계속 얘기해 주더라고. 이거 좀 운전하면서 차가 너무 부드럽고 계속 보더라고. 너무 차 좋은데, 너무 차 좋은데.
I love it. Love it.
That's so cool. Well, what's funny? I get all these, I read some of the comments, then that everyone of my subscribers are Fast and Furious and your character Han's fans. They're like, whenever I talk about Fast and Furious, they're like, man, you should have been on there with Han. I'm like, look, bro, did you see Dragon Ball Evolution? That thing flopped. What character would I have been if I wasn't Fast and Furious?
Hans Hyung, right?
But then you would probably end up being my young because I'm such a kid. Well, look in this camera and then this is going to be your last statement to the viewers.
I mean, I'm gonna, echo what I said earlier about what you've taught me. What I've learned from you, just hanging out with you today, is that you haven't changed like what you love. You were passionate about cars when I met you. You're passionate about cars when you were in high school. You're passionate about cars now. And if that passion is real, it doesn't matter what other people think. Be true and be sincere, and people will accept you, and you will be beloved, like this young. right? And what a great opportunity and excuse to get together with friends and make new friends and make great memories and also celebrate our history, nostalgia. We should have like pride in our history. That pride is related with the cars that we grew up with. And if it's a Korean car, so what? Like we're here now. We should be proud of that.
Sure.
Right?
And 성강 씨가 한국말로
뭐
뭐 하고 싶으면 팬 여러분들한테 왜냐면 진짜로 성강 사랑하는 사람들 존나 많아.
존나 많아? Isn't that a bad
You can
word?
say it's okay. 존나 is, it means like freaking a lot of people. You have a lot of fans here. 그 많은 팬들한테 this is your chance to, you know, thank them or whatever you want to say.
한국 여러분, 저기 처음에 한국말 잘 못하니까 좀 받아주세요. 근데 열심히
괜찮아.
해볼게요.
나도 받아주는데 뭐.
저기 한국 오니까 한국 사람들 너무너무 사랑 주고 너무 고마워요. 그리고 그거는 그 기분 여기 한국 떠나서 계속 갖고 있을게요. 그래서 그거에서 한국 프라이드, 그 한국 사람 내 뒤에 있다. 한국 사람도 나 사랑한다. 그거 미국 가서 계속 열심히 할게요. So I won't let you down.
So good. Well, brother, thank you very much for being with us. What other, any more projects coming up?
Oh yeah, so why I'm in Korea is I'm doing a docu-series called Ride Life, and I travel the world. The excuse is that we meet inspiring people because of their connection to a car, just like yourself, right? But it's not so much about the car, it's about the person and the people and the culture and the community behind that car culture. And I hope with this show, you can learn a little bit about the car history, but then you can walk away inspired and have human lessons. Because I've gotten some great opportunities because of Fast and Furious to meet some amazing human beings. So that is what Ride Life is. That's the project I'm working on right now.
그러니까 많이 기대해 주세요. 저도 거기에 조금 출연하니까 많이 기대해 주셔도 되고. What about on the big screen? Any other projects coming soon?
Basically, I just did a movie in Taiwan.
Okay.
That'll probably come out next year sometime, and then we should be getting ready to do the next Fast.
기대 많이 해주세요.
Yeah.
Carterman, Joe, get it, yo, let's go get it, Carterman. 여러분 진짜로 여러분들이 진짜로 많이 기대해 줬었던 항상 뭐 Fast and Furious에 대해서 많이 물어봤었던 거기에 주인공분이 오늘 나오셔서 이렇게 함께 시간을 How was it? How was your interview? Pretty good? You like it?
Awesome.
되게 잘해주셔서 너무 감사하고 진짜로 겸손한 사람입니다. 그러니까 일단 앞으로도 성강 많이 박수 쳐주시고 많이 응원해 주세요. So everyone, follow, like, subscribe, and Carterman will be there on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, bam! Woo!